right, graphing inequalities with the variable on both sides. So let's start with 10 minus 3y is less than 8 minus 5y. So the first thing you need to do, decide which side you want your variables on. Most kids are going to the left, so I'm going to take this one to the left. And ignore the inequality sign and look at it as an equal sign. Or think of it as an equal sign. So if it's a negative 5 over here, we plus 5 here. Negative 3 plus 5 is 2y. So 10, it's a positive 2y, so we're going to put positive 2y. And now we need to take our numbers to the other side. So if it's a positive 10 here, it's a negative 10 here. 8 minus 10. 2y is less than negative 2. And instead of timesing, we're going to divide. Y is greater than negative 1. So what that means is on a number line, I would shade the direction. If I were to pick numbers and put in the inequality symbol, or put in my inequality, so you need this is your inequality. If I would pick numbers, which one would make these true? That's the side I shade. For example, if I put in negative 2, would the alligator go after negative 2? No, he would not. If I put in a positive 1, is positive 1 greater than negative 1? Yes. Is positive 2 greater than negative 1? Yes. So I'm going to do an open circle on negative 1. Open circle because there's not a line underneath. And I shade to the right. That means all the numbers that I have shaded are larger than negative 1. All the numbers that I shaded, I could substitute in here, and they would be larger than negative 1. That's true. Okay? The only thing that you have to remember is if you divide by a negative, you need to turn the sign. Turn the inequality sign. Okay? All right. You would have something that looks like this. M divided by 3 is less, let's make that a negative 3. So we have to turn we do not turn the sign because we're doing the opposite. So instead of dividing by a negative 3, we are going to multiply by a negative 3. So that means M is greater than a positive 18. It means all the numbers I shade should be larger than 18. Open circle because it doesn't have the line underneath. Open circle on 18, and I'm going to shade to the right. Okay, on the quiz, we will have some things like combining like terms. So you would have something like 12m plus 2 plus 5m squared minus 4m. And the only things that we can combine are the m's. The sign in front goes with it. 12 minus 4, 8m plus 2 plus 5m squared. So you're going to have 2 problems like that. You're going to have 3 problems that are simple interest. Here's the formula for that. Principal times the rate times the time gives you the interest amount. Let's say you deposit $3,500. That would be the principal. And if you just substitute things in and you just follow the equation, and then you can just solve. So I put in 3,500. I'm not sure of the rate. I'm going to leave that in for 3 years. And after I have left it in for 3 years, I have made $703.50. Now you just solve like a simple equation. Do what you can. 3,500 times 3 gives me 10,500 times the rate, which I don't know, equals $703.50. I multiply on the left, so I'm going to divide to get my percentage. Whatever it is, then you have to times it by 100 to make it into a percent. Okay, let's try this one. The month of for my account, and here's my balance. So at 0 months, I start with $105.90. Nope, I'm sorry. 0 months, I start with $100. The first month, I have $105.90. This should be year, not month. Sorry. The second year is $118.80. The third year is $117.70. Okay, so I start with my equation, and the first thing I need to figure out is what is my interest rate. Well, I'm sorry, it was what is the amount of interest that I earned. So if I start with $100 and by the end of the year 1, that means I have $5.90 interest. And I got that by taking year 2 minus year 1. So minus 100, because that's what I started with. 100 is what I started with. So if 100 is what I started with, that's my principal. I'm looking for the rate. I know that in 1 year, I earned $5.90. Now, just solve like a normal equation. 100 times 1 is 100. Instead of timesing by 100, we divide by 100. Okay, so then you just divide $5.90 divided by 100, and then you would need to, and then that would give you your rate. The next things that would be on the quiz are multiple step or two-step equations. So you would see things like this. 3d minus 2 equals 31. And we would normally multiply and then subtract, but we're going to work backwards because we cannot go forward. So instead of minusing 2, we're going to add 2. Now the equation is 3d equals 33. Things like this. 4 negative x plus 4 equals 12. Working backwards, we would first add and then multiply. So instead of multiply, we're going to divide. So negative x plus 4 equals 3. You can get rid of the parentheses. Negative x plus 4 equals 3. Instead of adding 4, we're going to subtract 4. You cannot have two negatives. You cannot have a negative variable, So you would divide by a negative sign, dividing by a -1, really, and x equals 1. When you put it back into the equation, it's going to be 4, and then this is a -1x plus, or -1 plus 4. That would be 4 because this stays. So it would be -1 plus 4, which would give you a 3. And that's how you're going to get your 12. Okay, we've spent a lot of time on doing equations. I really wanted to make sure the kids have a good handle on it. So on the quiz, you'll see combining like terms, simple interest, distributive property, that would look something like this: 3x and 5y plus 2. So you need to distribute. So that would be 15xy plus 6x. You're going to see inequalities. There's only 3. The ones that are on the homework are actually harder than the ones that will be on the quiz. And then you're going to see problems where you substitute numbers in and solve. So that would look like this: 5x plus 4x times x plus 10x. And then if I said x equals 3, then you would just substitute 3 in for x and solve. So 5 times 3 plus 4 times 3 times 3 plus 10 times 3. Then you just simply follow order of operations and solve.